Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die. My name is Grant. You can call him Chip, and today we are talking about episodes 19 through 21 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean.
Since we last recorded an episode, I had to go do some stuff, and that kind of delayed the recordings a bit. The holidays happened, we were out of state, blah, 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 which means I've spent a couple weeks just in the back of my mind going, I want to talk about the green. I want to talk about the green.
It's baby time.
It's time for baby.
Anyone recognize it's baby time? And if you're around family, if you're especially around in-laws, you're not allowed to just say it's baby time. People get a bad idea.
I'm going baby mode.
Misled.
Never a thing you can say around your family. You can never say I'm going baby mode.
So that brings us to episode 19, Birth of the Green.
And we're picking up where we left off last time, where there's some Speedwagon Foundation scientists pushing buttons, looking at monitors,
poking knobs, tweaking bits, because Jotaro has been in a deep REM sleep and sitting in a monk-like posture.
Yes, like these two scientists who I believe were the same we saw the previous episode, a shorter, older man, and then like maybe a 30-year-old taller man who has elf ears.
Doesn't everyone these days? It's so fashionable.
Humans in JoJo have just started to evolve in the last 10 years or so to have elf ears.
I have to think it's a procedure, Like there were some trendsetters back around the turn of the millennium, and now it's just totally mainstream.
Yeah, they're talking about how Jotaro woke up and then immediately went into the pose of an ascetic monk, and now he's just vibing.
And one of the scientists says, makes sense.
Yes, he does. What about that makes sense? Anyways, Jotaro has no memories.
No memories, doesn't know his name. He has relearned 30 English words. Mm-hmm. English is not his first language. Why are we starting there?
He doesn't know he's Japanese. He's just speaking the local language.
Are they specifically fish words? That might also help. Meet him where he's coming from, please.
How close do you think this room Jotaro is being kept in is to Santana's body?
I don't know.
Is Jotaro in Washington, D.C. right now, underground?
It's been nearly 100 years. Who could say?
I bet Santana's all the way in the back of a forgotten room where they just the IT guys just put all their extra computer crap, and you can't even see Santana anymore. He's completely covered up with junk.
And there is a light switch that has it's held in the up position by masking tape that someone's written on. Do not switch off.
Yep.
No one knows why. Nobody knows.
Yep. That's exactly what's happening. There's one incredibly old janitor who still knows what's up with that room.
Nobody talks to him. Nobody knows.
Nope.
So we do see whose pictures these are on the bedside table here. He's got a 5x7 copy of that same picture of he and the mysterious mama that was inside the bug pendant that kicked off all this rigmarole. Mm-hmm. And also one of Jolene as a normal, bright-eyed, happy teen.
Yes.
Which is whenever she's just a normal kid, like this picture, or even the flashbacks with Romeo in the beginning, 90% of the lines on her face are gone.
Yes.
It's so striking.
Yeah. Also, it's just really funny. Out of all of the JoJo teens, Jolene seems to have maybe been the one to have had the most normal life.
Yeah, this looks like a fucking school picture day photo.
Yeah. And it's just really funny to know that girl at any second, if she had to, would be able to flip on fuck shit up mode and, have the fortitude and will to, fight a 250-pound man throwing meteors at her face.
But the problem, among many problems, the problem we're discussing is that without any memories, Jotaro Kujo has no motivation to live, so all of his muscles are atrophying.
Oh no!
Yeah, no shit. You should have seen him when he was 16.
Does that mean Jotaro, since he was 16, has been slowly losing the will to live?
That's what the dolphins are for. They're bringing him back.
Yeah.
If I learned one thing in the break since our last recording, in which I watched 50 episodes of Sequest DSV, thank you very much, it's that swimming with a dolphin will heal your soul.
Yeah.
It happens like 8 times in the first season.
Psychic dolphin.
Including William Shatner's, like, mute child.
Ooh, okay.
Shatner makes some fucking acting choices in that guest spot. My God.
Oh, I bet.
But in any case, we already know someone who's gone through this exact same thing and came out pretty okay. Mm-hmm. Can we get Weather Report to consult on this medical issue?
Yeah. I mean, really, it just seems like they're putting the wrong frame pictures in front of Jotaro. It just needs to be that starfish he found.
Yeah.
And he like the starfish, he would regenerate.
Yes. The starfish is my real daughter. Yes.
But yeah, these scientists are continuing to talk about Jotaro's condition. One guy goes like, "Okay, doctor, what's the plan?" And the little guy, the smaller man, goes, "I don't know." So he gets on all fours and crawls up to Jotaro and goes to poke his head. That'll do something.
Look, he's a chemotherapy researcher. He's out of his depth. He doesn't know.
Yeah, they're all doing jobs not in their description.
So Star Platinum pops out like reflexively, and Jotaro backhands this doctor. Should be dead. Mm-hmm. Should be instantly dead.
Just barely got out of the way in time because the other doctor was already like, "I think poking that man's head is a really fucking bad idea."
But in this backhand swing, the like glass vial, very old-fashioned IV drip he's got in him, shatters to pieces, and the shards go across Jotaro's forearm, slicing into it with remarkably good handwriting for shards of glass in midair. The word Jolene, spelled with a Y and everything. How did they know?
Whoa. And so the doctors piece it together a little too slow that this reads Jolene on his arm.
Well, maybe English isn't their first language either. They're all bonding over.
That's true. As is the origins of the Speedwagon Foundation. There's still a lot of German staff here. Mm-hmm. But as they're marveling at the word Jolene being cut into his arm, we cut back to the prison where Jolene is still recovering / fucked up from the last fight. Oh, you mean
on death's door?
Yeah. And across her arm, the same letters, Jolene, get cut across her arm.
And so she flashes back to the final words her father said to her when his discs were stolen. Quote, "I want you to know you are always incredibly important to me." Oh. And she's like, "Yeah, my dad did love me. That's why he walked out on me and my family out of love." You don't get to pull this shit. Mm-hmm. If the problem with Jotaro is he's an absent dad, you don't get to say, the best part about him, super absent.
Mm-hmm. But look, he psychically transported an arm wound to me. Whoa.
That also doesn't seem good. Like, it's the least of her medical issues currently, sure. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't seem good.
Yeah.
And Foo Fighters is there like, "Hey, I gooshed in all your other wounds. Let me seal those up for you." And she's like, "No, I'm keeping these." Mm-hmm. And then they disappear on their own anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, Jolene's reasoning or like realization as to why Jotaro, like how he showed his care for her, was that he was an absent dad to keep evil vampires, serial killers, blah, 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 away from her and her mom, basically. Mm-hmm, being a JoJo attracts danger, and so therefore I have to leave my family so that they don't get involved. Oops, they got involved.
The first time she got in danger was because of John Gallier, who was hunting her specifically.
Yeah.
And just thought, "Oh, Jotaro's here, lucky twofer for me."
Yeah. Being a JoJo just means this is going to happen, regardless of how absent of a dad you are. Like, you might as well have fun with your daughter while waiting for a guy to try to blow her brains out. Like,
My kid got arrested. Better fly off to Tokyo for unspecified reasons.
There's another vampire just off screen.
And anyway, the OP plays.
Yep.
And as we rejoin the present action in Green Dolphin, our victorious trio is taking the stairs out of the execution chamber, back up to the surface, and Anasui leans over to FF and is like, hey, I'm trying to engineer a meet cute. Do you have my back?
And FF, I think that verbatim what she says is, sexual harassment? No.
See, the plan is Jolene is, of course, trudging out ahead of the other two. Anasui wants her to be tripped, so she will fall backwards into his strong, powerful, sociopathic arms. Mm-hmm. And then she will think back on all of the fighting and realize that he saved her by turning a man into a living spring monster.
There's a lot of ways to show affection in this world, and that's one of them.
I mean, Anasui's love language is one I do not want to speak. Let's just put it there.
Yeah, and, FF really doesn't like this, but eventually she is convinced, fine, help a brother out.
Anasui's, last gambit to convince her is like, hey, you're becoming a person. Do you want to become the sort of person who breaks promises? And they're like, no, I guess I'll just be the person who punches my best friend in the ankle out of nowhere. That seems like a better kind of person to be.
And so she does, and Jolene falls backwards down the stairs. And Anasui, and this is all in slow motion, Anasui holds his arms out to catch her. And as she's slowly falling to him, her trajectory suddenly alters because she has Spider-Man web-zipped up to the railing at the top of the stairs because, wait a minute, that small man with a bone is there!
The small man with the bone! And so, she reaches up. She's holding the hand that is holding the bone until the skin of the forearm of the hand that is holding the bone deglows. Ah! It's totally shorn away by Jolene's string, and so she falls and slips the thread off. Mm-hmm. Foo Fighters fires bleh, a few shots that does not stop this small man. And Anasui once again is the one to say, "Hey, everybody, stop it! Let's be observant here."
Because the small man. He's just kind of crawling and wiggling away. He has reached a wall, and he is just kind of clawing up higher at the wall. And Anasui goes, wait a minute, this was a small man, but when I look at this man, he's a tall man now. What the fuck is this?
This man has grown, specifically in the spine.
Yeah.
He got a double dose of torso, this man.
Yeah, it's like he's like the village leader guy,
the village chief, Bitores in Resident Evil 4. Yes, obviously.
Yes, he gets long in the spine, but nowhere else. His spine is disgusting looking.
Yeah,
it's bad,
and you can see it full on display because he's facing into this sort of small corner on the wall where a support column reaches the wall and then juts out a little bit. Mm-hmm. But his face is buried in it, back fully exposed to the afternoon, early evening sun. Mm-hmm. He seems to like that sun. He starts muttering about the heat and the warmth and the light. And as he turns his face, I guess you could call it that because it's no longer a human face. He has mouth bonsai.
Yes, yeah.
And all of his teeth are fused into his cheeks, poking through the skin to become sort of like pebbles around the soft, peaty loam of his skin from which the bonsai grows.
The roots of this bonsai are also going into his nostrils. He has little leaves poking out from around his eyeballs.
And then his eyeball squelches and splits into the stamen and pistil of a flower.
Yeah. It's Gross.
It's got to be the grossest thing that this show has ever done.
Yeah.
And then, just to remind you what you're watching, the tongue stump just sort of wiggles around. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this in Japanese, it does the Kakuin Rero 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 thing.
Oh, yeah.
But with a monster voice and an evil filter over it.
And after that guy does all that, his head explodes.
Yeah, it does.
The back of his head just violently bursts open. And that's when FF asks, his head literally exploded. Is he a stand user?
Not anymore, he's not. But this also prompts them to look around. Look around at all the dead people with their very curious designs that we thought might be dudes turned out to not be dudes. Mm-hmm. Instead, they're trees.
All their faces have bonsais or just full-on weird-shaped trees growing out of their faces with their teeth fused into weird parts of their faces.
It's time for Ender Wiggin to come and give them all very personal funerals. Man, that series got weird about a quarter of the way through the first book. Never mind the second, which is what I'm talking about right now. Damn. Anyhow, the bone has been left unattended. Mm-hmm. And it is near the feet of the centurion-looking dude. Remember that guy?
Yeah,
he's important now.
There was one weird guy we saw at the very start who, yes, is still around, untreed. One of the buffer guys in JoJo in a while now, I think.
That's true.
He almost looks like a Part 3 character.
Yeah. The outfit is very Part 2, actually.
Yes, it is.
So he is wearing a fucking Fred Flintstone loincloth. Mm-hmm. Like, it's up one shoulder, it ends at his thighs, but beneath it is sort of a purple toga that goes over the other shoulder. So between them, he's got full coverage.
Yep.
And yeah, a helmet with a spike on top and one eye patch, a metal-looking eye patch with holes, like one of them wiffle ball style eye patches.
Yeah. The helmet, I just looked it up, by the way, the name of the type of helmet he's
Pickelhaube?
wearing. Yeah, Pickelhaube.
And we have to talk about this guy, but there's no good time to talk about this guy.
Yeah, let's just talk about him right now.
He will get introduced later as DNG, short, of course, for Dolce and Gabbana. His English voice is Eraserhead in My Hero Academia and Edgeworth in the Ace Attorney anime.
Oh, hell yeah.
While the Japanese voice of DNG here was Elias Ainsworth in Ancient Magus's Bride and Hero Man, a character that came from a collaboration between Stan Lee and Studio Bones.
What?
Yes!
Huh.
Yes!
Huh, okay. I did not know that was a thing that existed. Now I gotta check that out later. Also, I just want to mention, you know how frequently characters in JoJo and the manga have like their likes and dislikes in like the in-between pages of chapters. D&G's favorite movie? Showgirls.
That makes sense. I can see it.
Yeah.
So our heroes are talking about the bone, trying to figure out what happened, what's going on. I love the way that they say the small man, like that's his official name. Like he was wearing a name tag that says, "Hello, my name is the small man."
Yeah.
But Jolene, got to get that bone. She's determined. She's driven. She has, again, had no sense of self-preservation for weeks now. And that is when flowers start to sprout from her face.
Anasui just barely catches a glimpse of like some flowers coming out of her face. And he's just like, whoa. Hold the fuck up. Stop. Don't go any further. You're going to turn into a damn plant. And like, when Jolie turns around, no plants on her face. But he's just like, hold up. I got to smell your breath. And she thinks, wow, this guy is down bad in a weird way. And then Anasu was just like, no, I'm doing this for a very valid reason.
But also the other thing.
Yeah, it's 2 for 1.
So he smells her breath and gets some information, I guess. But it doesn't matter because she's going to keep going for that bone and keep popping flowers out of her pores and tear ducts. and
Oh,
this
yeah.
bone is just rattling around on a root, and Jolene reaches out for it, and she's just covered in flower buds. So Diver Down enters her body yet again, and karate chops some of them out from the inside. And this is when Anazui is confident to say that these flowers are Jolene. This is not an invasive thing.
Yeah.
They're her. I can't
Yep.
get rid of them. It would be like getting rid of like her organs.
Yep. And around this time is when Anasui starts theorizing, okay, I believe this is technically what is happening right now. Not a stand ability, because wouldn't the person with a stand ability just make us trees instead of all these other people? And this is when they think, oh, is the bone doing this? Is the bone just making stuff into trees? Is there tree energy tree radiation emanating from this bone?
We're all worried about infection, so Anazui takes one of her flower buds into his mouth.
Yes.
And it's very tender. It's very sensual.
It is. It really is.
This is maybe the horniest thing of all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yep. He determines this is a normal-ass plant coming out of your cheek, girl. Also, you don't got blood in your blood anymore. You got chlorophyll in you.
So once again, he pledges to protect her, his future bride, and yanks her out of the sunlight to arrest the plant growth, because plants like sun, especially weird stand magic-based plants, as we well know. And then she turns to him and says, "But Kaz, I'm already a tree," and walks forward. She just can't stop hurting herself.
She wants to get shit done. She is a speed runner. She will take damage to save time.
So one tree, we've lost sight of the bone entirely, but where it was last seen is near this one tree, and that tree has a matrix baby pod at its base.
Yes.
And inside the clear husk, the transparent husk of this baby pod, is a little creature with the Joestar birthmark on its little creature shoulder.
Yep. In the same spot as all the other JoJos. And Jolene goes, "Oh my god, it's a child. A green child!"
It's one of the more popular surnames in America. I'm surely you've met some.
And this is when we hit the mid-episode card, where, again, it shows us a stand we haven't been introduced yet, and I don't like it when they do that.
But just like its user, there's no really good time to talk about this critter, so we might as well do it now.
It's true. Yeah.
Because, like, from here on out, let me just say it. Things happen. Is there logic for how things happen? No, actually. This is the most fucking nonsense, A does not lead to B ass shit that JoJo's has ever done.
Yep. Yeah, I have said that sometimes the situations in JoJo can feel dreamlike. This is maybe the most dreamlike. Because weird shit is just gonna happen, and you just kind of gotta accept that it's gonna be weird. Don't think about it too hard.
And nothing exemplifies that more than the stand Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma, named for the only cellist you or I have ever heard of.
Yep. Yep.
Localized to just Ya-Ya Ma. Yo-Yo Ma looks like Hanna-Barbera's Frankenstein Jr. crossed with an artichoke.
Oh my god. It is Frankenstein Jr. So we got a green tubby guy.
We got a green tubby guy who's about like, I don't know, 4 feet high.
Yeah. He squats a lot, so that's kind of messing with his height a bit there too.
His skin is all green. He does have like a scalloping pattern over his exposed parts up to the middle of his face. Again, that's the artichoke part I was talking about. I guess he and FF shop at the same place because he's got his own blue coveralls that are also shoes.
Yep, there's holes cut in the knees, so you can see his green knobby knees coming through. He's wearing like pink, almost elbow-length gloves.
They're like rubber kitchen gloves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
His face is flat. He has no nose. He's got like a triangular mouth, and his eyes. Well, one eye. He has like one eye is
One eye is like a little yellow daisy.
Yeah, yeah, and the other one's just kind of a red circle that's also appears to be an eye patch. Because this is D&G's stand, basically.
Yes. So they both have eye patches. They both have spikes coming out of their
Yep.
head. Well, one of them is a hat. So
Yeah, yeah.
this guy is coming right out the head.
Yeah.
And he's very slobbery, very drooly. He's a tubby little fella.
Yep.
Like the midsection of these coveralls are swollen to bursting.
Yeah, he's got a big tummy. And also, even though these are coveralls, he's got pants and everything. He's got a loincloth,
Yes.
like bolted on to his coveralls.
Yes.
It's a bib, but it's in the wrong place.
Yo-Yo Ma's English voice, because shame on me, this is, 2 in a row where the stand and the user have different voices. Mm-hmm. Yo-Yo Ma's English voice was Scarecrow in the Arkham games,
Okay.
a Geblin Mechatork among several others across World of Warcraft and its many expansions,
Uh-huh.
and Towley in South Park.
Oh,
Yes!
sure. Towley. We all remember Towley.
While the Japanese voice of the stand, Yo-Yo Ma, was Ranma in Ranma 1/2.
Oh, wow.
L in Death Note.
Oh, my God.
Dubs for both Max Goof and the Red M&M.
Uh-huh.
And previously played Shigechi in Diamond is Unbreakable.
Oh, man. Wow. That's a big breadth of characters right there.
So now that we're through talking about Yo-Yo Ma, it's time to almost meet him.
Mm-hmm.
So Jolene is still looking at this baby-shaped thing in a pod and tries to rationalize that couldn't possibly be a baby. Veggies have weird shapes all the time. Like, carrots that look like Snoopy and radishes that look like big tits.
Yep.
Never change, Jolene.
Yep. Love you, Jolene.
So she reaches out to this little pod, and the creature within turns its head, and Foo Fighters tries again to pull her back.
Mm-hmm.
But the need to know is stronger than self-preservation. The last time Jolene did anything to keep herself safe was in the frog rain.
Yes. Yes, the frog.
Surviving that just killed something in her. And
Yeah. If she survived a torrential downpour, poisonous frogs, she must at this point think she's near invincible.
and she's
Right.
trying to prove it at
Yeah.
every turn.
Mm-hmm.
So she thinks to herself, this weird little fruit baby absorbed the bone.
And you know what? If there's a weird fruit baby in all this, I bet that's something Whitesnake wants. So this is my baby now.
I'm just wondering what Inazui thinks of this sudden maternal instinct.
Oh, man. I want to get married, but I don't want to have kids.
Especially not weird little green ones.
Yeah, fuck this. We'll just adopt FF.
A different weird little green baby. Okay, all right.
Yeah. This one's nicer. I like this one.
So Inazui does step in here to be a voice of reason, like, hey, the sun is getting lower, so it's coming in directly through that big window. This is a bad, unsafe time to be here. Never mind the fact that low sun is actually indirect and weaker, but never mind. Mm-hmm. I'm just doubting everything Inazui has ever said to me. It's not a big deal. So Jolene just surges forward and seizes the baby pod while her joints can still bend before they're entirely wooden.
Yep. And so, yeah, after she grabs the baby pod, she is yanked into the shade, and they run to the opposite side of this building just to try and find a way out where they won't be exposed to the sun. So he stops everybody again, the most observant man, because there's one more weird guy.
There's another weird guy. There's this cowardly, weird little guy.
Man, the fashion this prison lets people get away with. Imagine if you saw a very strange bootleg version of Bruno. This guy's got really similar hair.
Yes. But he also has two long, long, like forelock bangs.
Yep.
Coming down to spikes around his chest. His jumpsuit, you should feel free to describe it for most people, but I'm going to describe it for my people as Karasoon's second outfit in Double Zeta when they go back to space. It's that, but baby blue.
Yeah. And for people who don't know, okay, cutouts on the shoulders, cut out on the tummy, cut out on the hips and ass, so the sides are kind of just hanging out there.
Yes.
Baby blue.
And all across the legs are written the word survivor over and over and over again. I wonder what his purpose in this plan was.
Yeah. This man also has a really thin mustache.
His face looks like a skull.
Yeah.
He
very
looks
gaunt.
like step one of like a forensic archaeologist trying to recreate an ancient person. The clay's not all on there yet.
Yeah. This guy is tears streaming down his face. He is shaking. He is terrified. He's begging for help. And so Anasu is just like, okay, bud, what's your name? It's Guccio.
It's Guccio.
My name is Guccio.
Anasui demands to know whether he is an enemy stand and not telling them. And then just sort of gives him a lesson on how many ribs a human has.
Yes.
And lets him go. It's 24, by the way.
He gives him a little tummy rub while doing this, by the way. And yeah, he just tells Guccio, like, okay, on your way now. And Guccio just kind of, like, shell-shocked, just walks towards this, the opposite side of the building. And everyone else is, hey, Anasui, what the fuck was that about? And he goes, I don't care.
There's too many dudes. There's too much shit just happening for no reason. I do not care. Here, climb up my stand like a ladder. That's fun.
Yep, just climb over the other side of the building.
Meanwhile, D&G here is still lurking in the corner. He's like, green baby. I didn't know shit about that. I'm just here to kill Jolene.
Yep.
And Guccio stumbles across him, and D&G's like, hey, you okay? You weird freak of a man? Because Guccio is just like muttering nonsense and waving his arms around. It's clearly had something happen to him in that encounter. So when D&G like puts a reassuring hand on his shoulder, because they're teammates in trying to kill Jolene Cujo. That is when Guccio's back explodes because his ribs have been turned into a bear trap.
Yes.
That pierces through the forearm of D&G many, many times.
Yes. Yeah.
You know a hair clip? What if that was bones and razor sharp and tried to tear your arm off?
Yeah. One of the things that is very funny about this to me is like, okay, when Anasui's Diver Down is first introduced, he doesn't explain what it does. We just see him, like punch the wall and have a punch come out like delayed.
Which never happens again so far. I guess this is the delayed part. He will fuck up your insides, and sometimes he can do it delayed.
Yeah.
Because fucking up your insides is most of what it actually does. Like, if you look at every use of Diver Down since, it's been going in either a guy or a wall and doing something in there.
Yeah. And that is the power. Whatever he dives into, he can rearrange, or his stand can hide in there for later, stuff like that. But it's never been audibly explained that he can rearrange shit. So, okay, based on the events that happened in the previous episode, you can figure out, okay, something Diver Down did made that man's legs turn into bone springs. This is just like enough time passes from the guy getting the rib tummy rub from Anasui to his ribs turning into a bear trap. It's just like, that man had bear trap ribs for no reason.
I like to take a step backward. I like to reach out to a widely renowned fashion designer, Anasui. If you or someone responsible, like in your organization, personally asked for this character's name to be changed to Anastasia, I get it, man. I'm with you. I get it. He's not a nice man. He's not a good man.
He's weird. He's
If Rohan is an experiment in like how unlikable in personality can a character be that people will still give it, Anasui is like how unlikable indeed can a character be? Like what are the most heinous acts I can make a guy do and still have people think that's a hero right there?
Yeah. And so yes, after D&G basically gets his left arm from the elbow down completely shredded to bits by the rib bear trap.
And starts crying for his mama.
Yes. Guccio just continues walking forward, just muttering random things. Utterly fucked up because his ribs exploded from his back. You see his stand survivor just fall to the ground, and we just get a little title card saying Guccio and survivor, beyond recovery.
So, the group has climbed over that wall. They've made it outside. They are in the shadow of the building so as not to encourage any further plant growth. But Jolene's remaining plant bits just sort of wither and fall away. Apparently, they're out of the range of this implanting. Jeff Vandermeer, you've got a lot to answer for. Ooh. So Jolene is hoping that the discovery of dozens of mutilated inmates and staff will bring Whitesnake out into the open, where she can just kill him.
Yep.
And take that daddy disc back. What she does not notice is the aforementioned Frankenstein Jr. Artichoke Man eating the plant baby womb pod.
Hey, that's my green baby plant baby womb pod. Give that back.
And this is when the episode totally goes off the rails. Oh yeah, it might surprise you. We were on rails up to this point.
Yep.
So it swallows down the baby fruit. She kicks the shit out of this stand.
Yeah. Like completely flattens its head in. Just blood spurting everywhere.
Foo Fighters empties a bug clip into this thing. A diver down jumps inside it to fuck it up. Everybody is going after this thing. Totally ineffective, except Anasui's blood gets smelly.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that mean?
It's not a part of his ability or anything. It's just like, this guy's gross and therefore I am gross by touching him, I guess.
So this stand, this Yo-Yo Ma pops up and is like, anyhow, you must be Jolene. I'm going to lash a chair together for some like campground luxury. I'm going to lick your shoes clean, my mistress. Here, would you like to read a volume of Pink Dark Boy that I stole for you?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, everybody's down bad in a weird way today.
Yeah. And then a bee flies by, like, near Jolene, and he snatches it out of the air and goes like, "Ooh, watch out! That's a bee. That's bad. That could sting you. Let me eat that for you." And then there's a really good bit of comedy here where it's like you're just seeing him eat this bee, and then just barely coming into frame is FF's finger gun, and she just blasts his brains out point blank when he's chewing on this bee.
Like again, a mafia execution.
It does nothing. It just knocks him to the ground. And then he starts drooling a bunch.
Just starts drooling and then gives FF a lesson on harvesting wild strawberries and how to tell them apart from mock strawberries.
Yes.
Which are also edible. They just aren't as good. Because, again, that's the logic we're working on here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just tell you a thing I know. You're going to be curious to know if this has anything to do with anything in the future. No, absolutely nothing.
So
the only thing I could think of is that it is a hint to the reader or viewer to be mindful of things that look one way but are really another, underlined by the difference between the red and yellow blossoms and the red and yellow eyes of Yo-Yo Ma.
Okay, sure.
Or it's just absolute nonsense. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. So I just realized who Yo-Yo Ma reminds me of. he's like a weirder, more disgusting version of Shigechi.
Yeah. I
He's
mean,
a
I'm
lot
sure
like
that's why
Shigechi.
they cast the same guy.
Yeah. But yes, this is a weird, subservient simp stand that cannot be killed.
Perversely horny energy through this episode.
Yeah.
And a little bit of the next.
Yep. Jolene and Anasui are trying to figure out, okay, we got to get away from this building. What's the quickest way to get away? And they're like, well, there are marshlands nearby, and there might be like a boat or a fan boat or something there.
So Yo-Yo Ma, the stand that is controlled by an assassin sent to kill them, and they know this, who has eaten and seized the plant baby that they want for themselves, says, hey, let me get you a fan boat. And they say, cool, thank you. We're going to leave Foo Fighters behind here to assassinate the guy that controls you. And Yo-Yo Ma says, chill. Nice. This plot was written with alphabet cereal. It just happened.
Yeah. Like, they go, oh, we can't leave him behind because he's got the green baby in him, and we can't figure out how to get it out of him. But don't let him help you. That's bad.
He's not here to help.
He's not here to help. But there is a really good line here because yes, they get to the marshlands. Anasui is sitting in the chair of the fan boat, which is a very, very funny imagery to me. Yo-Yo Ma knows how to operate fan boats, so he's
gives instructions. Yeah,
he's giving instructions, and then the fan boat's tied to the dock, and so Anasui says, "Untie the anchor rope, weirdo."
Yeah. He's weird. He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit in. He doesn't want to fit in. Have you ever seen him without those kitchen gloves on? That's weird. So they sail off into the setting sun. And back at the discipline wing, Foo Fighters just like monologues to themselves mentally about how Jolene better be on her toes. Got to keep this guy on his best behavior because he's an enemy who tore their jaw off when nobody was looking. Just this horrible sludge. Nightmare face happening on Foo Fighters right now.
Her whole lower jaw is just gone. And that is the end of episode 19.
There was a little fruit waiting for me, a happy little surprise on the wiki when I checked for the list of differences between the anime and manga. Yo-Yo Ma does not offer to cook a frog French style like he does in the manga.
I guess right at the end of the last episode, though, he does catch a frog that has leapt out of the marsh midair and then just wrings it out like a dish rag so he can drink all the frog juice that squirts out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Episode 20, FF The Witness. So this starts with a long recap of Bone stuff, going all the way back to Sports Maximum.
Yep.
Up to the present with the green baby and whatnot. So Foo Fighters begins with that same monologue, although now with some extra context put in, like how Yo-Yo Ma attacks with foul, poisonous drool, and that is why their mouth is half gone.
Yep.
And so they think to themselves, I have this very valuable information. I could rush, join my two allies and save them, or I could stick to the plan. And they decide to stick to the plan and kill DNG.
Yep. So we go into the OP, and then when we're out of it, Anasui has Yo-Yo Ma park the fan boat kind of in like this little island. Little grove. Yeah. He hears something faint off in the distance. You can see everyone has their back turned for a second to Yo-Yo Ma, and he slowly starts trying to reach out to Jolene. And Anasui's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? I said turn the engine off. And so he turns the engine off. And this is when two other boats speed on by with prison guards, and they have very large mounted machine guns on the front of their boats.
Yes. And their chatter, both between one another and the radio, is talking about, quote, abnormal conditions
Oh, yeah.
in the discipline zone, which have put the prison on high alert. Yeah, you could call it that, I guess.
You have an X-Files episode happening in your prison, sir. It's more than abnormal.
Abnormal conditions, the abnormality alarm, like, this prison runs on understatement. And this is when Yo-Yo Ma has impaled its own face on the steering stick.
Yeah, and Anasui is just like, quit that, you! And so he just pushes him all the way through the steering stick to get his head off of it.
Anasui does not like Yo-Yo Ma.
No one should like Yo-Yo Ma. He's bad.
I'm just imagining someone playing like do 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 and crying every time you say that.
By the way, Anasui can immediately identify the caliber of bullets in those mounted machine guns. Again, this guy's just a walking Wikipedia entry. Like, Speedwagon would be proud.
But when the guards notice the small waves coming off of the boat as he abuses his like little sworn servant buddy, the guards turn and face them. And now it's Yo-Yo Ma's turn to have incredible information, like how to camouflage a boat from palm fronds by weaving them thusly and like shoving bits and bobs of plant matter onto both of their faces with mud and junk. And somehow this works.
Yes, it's very funny because the cops drive right by them.
Like they could touch them. They're so close.
And it's like, these are just very clearly still people, but with a stupid grass headdress on.
You have neon pink hair.
The pink hair. And also, I think it's very funny that Yo-Yo Ma glues stuff to his face because he's invisible to normal people. It's really funny.
Also green, naturally.
Also green. At first, the prison guards are like, "Okay, looks like there was nothing here. We got to return back to base."
So yeah, there's a priority alert for all hands to return and check out this these abnormal conditions, because someone finally like looked at it with their eyeballs, I guess. However, they are not saved because the swift retreat of these fan boats, the fans blow off all the camouflage. Oh no,
man! So then the prison guards go, "Wait a minute, it's those people we were looking for." And so then they shout in typical cop fashion, "Get on your knees!" And then they immediately start shooting.
In the middle of all of this commotion, Yo-Yo Ma is just breathing down Jolene's neck and releases mouth mosquitoes that bite upon her. Yeah, shotguns are leveled, Anasui stands up, the machine guns open fire, so Diver Down punches Yo-Yo Ma.
Yes.
Through the skull, launching it into one of the boats, and then jumps out and punches the guards of the other boat. I love the way Diver Down punches these guards, because the fist goes through the head of the one in front in order to connect with the face of the one behind.
Yeah, it's great.
And you know that first guy's brain turned inside out.
Oh, yeah.
That brain got turned into a harpsichord or something. I don't know, but I don't like it.
Yeah. And so they have defeated these guards. They steal a new boat because theirs was shot to hell.
Yo-Yo Ma once again demonstrates his thing for degradation. Just what we need in this. Great, cool. Please don't say "Step on Me, Daddy." Yo-Yo Ma, please don't.
Yeah.
Unless it's at the Tiny Desk concert, because that at least liven things up. So they've seized a second fan boat, this merry trio, making their way. And Anasui is irritated by Yo-Yo Ma's whistling to the point that he blames Jolene for whistling. And she tries to correct him, but all she can say is...
And she does this multiple times, and Anasui either doesn't hear her or doesn't want to acknowledge a woman who only speaks in... And Jolene's like freaking out, like, why the fuck can't I talk? And then we get a close-up of her tongue, in which her tongue has lots of little holes all punctured through it now.
She got that Swiss cheese tongue.
She got a Swiss cheese tongue.
And she makes the incredible deduction, the absolute logical leap that we love a Joestar for. She is now under the impression that this enemy stand is a threat.
Whoa.
Whoa!
He's been secretly attacking us this whole time.
So of course now, how do we communicate this voicelessly?
Mm-hmm.
So her first bet is just panting at Anasui.
You can't pant at Anasui. He's going to take that a certain way.
And he does.
Yeah.
He takes it as a romantic confession. And so she points at her tongue instead. And he's like, I see. You would like to kiss. The type where our tongues join in sultry tango.
And by the way, when this whole scene is happening, the color palette changes to be a much more brighter, saturated look to look like like it's for a romance
we're in goof
anime
mode now.
Yeah, we're in goof mode. And so through all of her panicked, trying to communicate to him, he's just like, guess we're horny, huh? I like that. I'm into this. And so
which is when he gets an uppercut right to the jaw.
Yep. And Jolene immediately tries to figure out, okay, how exactly does this guy attack us? And so Jolene grabs Anasui again in what looks like to be like like an embrace.
Like
to
grabs him by
kiss.
the face. Yes.
Yeah. And Anasui's just like, oh, yeah. And then Jolene just twists his head really hard to like, look at the enemy stand, fucking look at him. And she just keeps cracking and twisting his head in weird ways like, fucking look at this guy.
And he says, I'm confused. Do you want to kiss or not?
I think he also goes like, I guess you like kissing in weird ways or something. You're into the weird shit. I don't know what this weird shit is, but I'm going to learn it.
I'm going to rewire all of my parts to do this weird shit.
Yep.
So her internal monologue does not answer his question. Her thoughts are all on Yo-Yo Ma.
Mm-hmm.
So she walks up to Yo-Yo Ma sitting in the driver's seat. They're very trusting of this enemy stand. And turns her back to it, hoping that it will make a move that Anasui will see, and then we'll all be on the same page. And so Yo-Yo Ma opens its little mouth wide and goes, as this like noxious filter. And anytime he's doing a sneaky little attack when no one's looking, there's this, it's dark and very menacing texture. And then Yo-Yo Ma asks if Jolene knows what happens if you lick frog skin. And apparently the answer is, it makes an all-natural beauty cream. He's going to make some for her. He's going to make her a miniskirt out of frogs in order to make her butt perky, he says.
Yep. And then Anasui goes, Jolene, tell me if something is wrong.
Everything is wrong!
Everything's wrong here. You are wrong!
So she takes Anasui's face in her hands again, and Yo-Yo Ma opens its mouth again. Trap sprung because this fucking rips.
Yeah.
Jolene has taken Stone Free's string and woven an invisible net all over her body, and within that net caught the second salvo of mosquitoes within it.
Yeah.
But even so, her face melts and one of her eyes explodes.
God damn. Yup. So her eyeball kind of half explodes, half melts. And basically for the rest of the episode, we're going to see just white goop trailing down her face.
Yeah. But just the like, this is the coolest shit, triumphant moment of this thread grid planted all over her skin, and Stone Freeze clutching it somewhere between like a fishing net and cat's cradle. It looks cool as shit. And then like, oh God, oh no.
Yup.
It's great.
It's great.
And as she collapses, her string falls in loops to spell out in English cursive letters, be all eyes. Anasui has finally gotten a message.
Mm-hmm. Anasui immediately brings out Diver Down and like punches a hole clean through Yo-Yo Ma's head again. It hurts him a lot, but it doesn't kill him.
He's into it though.
He likes having his face punched clean through. And after this punch is connected, holes open up, little holes on Asui's face, and gross, noxious goop starts pouring out of it.
But he's not fazed. He announces, "Prepare yourself for your single greatest regret, that you were ever shat out into this world." They were made for each other, I swear.
Like, for as just almost random this part feels, there are some really good bits in it still.
That brings us to the Diver, once again, the Diver Drive mid-episode title card.
I just like his design. I think it's good.
It's all right. I'm not big on the hands.
Oh, yeah.
The sort of mitteny hands.
Yeah, I didn't notice that they were kind of like mittens. Yeah, I do wish they were separate fingers. I don't think mitts would be good for diving. Just saying.
Back at it, Anasui orders Yo-Yo Ma to the naughty step and tells it to empty its pockets as more and more holes open upon his arms and chest.
Yes.
And so, Yo-Yo Ma is carrying in its loincloth pockets 2 rhinoceros beetles, 1 karaoke microphone, some Splenda packets, 3 living frogs, 1 frog skin, broccoli, mock strawberries, some used matches. Very Shigechi, honestly.
Extremely Shigechi there, yeah.
So Anasui gets the idea and chops its face in half.
Yep. Anasui is talking out loud about like, okay, you're this type of stand. You're an automatic pursuit stand. You're doing the pursuit part real easy because we're doing it for you. But you're some type of automatic thing, so there's got to be some type of trigger for your attacks to happen. And this is when Yo-Yo Ma kind of like, he doesn't go mask off or anything because he's just gross all the time. But he just goes like, oh, hey, yep, I am here to fucking kill you, but it's only Jolene, so you could just like leave.
If you don't, I will kill you too. Just cards on the table here. But.
Yeah. And yeah, that's when he kicks his head like into the fan blade to chop it in half.
And that's when more holes open up on both of their bodies, and Jolene starts to suspect acid spittle being disguised in the foam and spray kicked up by a fan boat. So, like, every little bit of moisture that hits their skin, you think, yes, swamp water, what are you going to do? But some of those are acid spittle.
And so they're just constantly getting flicked by little acid drops, melting away their faces and bodies.
And that's why Jolene thinks they need to stop the boat.
Yeah.
And Anasui says, hey, little troll baby, go faster.
Yeah. Because, like, Yo-Yo Ma is still a weird guy who will, like, obey commands. And so Yo-Yo Ma goes, okay, here I go. And then he gets on his back and wiggles around like a little frog next to a little frog wiggling on his back the same way. And then he flips around, kind of sits there for a second like a frog. And he goes to the chair.
He eats one of his beetles.
Yep, he eats one of his beetles and just sits there and savors the beetle. And then honestly, he's like, okay, he's not going to attack us anymore. And so Yo-Yo Ma does a little frog hop onto the chair, does one more frog hop, and jams his head into the fan blade and utterly fucks himself up again. And then he sees some birds, and he goes, birds! And tries to hide under the chair.
Because Anasui now describes what happened, quote, I simply attached a frog to its brain. You see, so pursuit stands like Yo-Yo Ma here, have a thing called a pursuit center. They also have brains.
Yeah.
And this is the part of their stand brain that aims them at their target. And if you plug a frog into that, it means that Yo-Yo Ma now is so terrified of birds that it cannot enact its spit distribution plans.
Yeah. He's got frog brain.
He's so frog-brained that then Yo-Yo Ma says, quote, "I wet myself, just like a frog." And there's a little close-up insert of Yo-Yo Ma the stand wetting its loincloth.
Yep.
What is happening?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this show anymore?
Then he
Thankfully, this is when we cut away.
Yes, we cut away to Yo-Yo Ma seeing a girl frog and go,
Oh, God, yes.
Ooh, I love that girl frog. Wait a minute, a bug. I gotta eat that bug. So yes, the enemy stand has been defeated by having a frog for a brain. Ta-da!
So back in the disciplinary wing, there is yet another guard with the voice of the narrator doing a slightly different voice.
Yes.
And this guard is, shall we say, amazed at what he sees before him.
Yes. Very large amounts of decaying plant matter that have completely, consumed the building.
And according to him, it has been 10 minutes since Westwood opened all the cells.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Fuck you. No, it was not. It was 80 minutes at least.
So the guards have surrounded D&G here, the sole survivor, shuddering in pain from his arm injuries.
Yeah.
While Foo Fighters lies in wait above, getting a bird's eye view of all this, lining up a headshot to take out D&G and save them from the frog goblin.
Mm-hmm.
And they see Poochie hiding in a different nook down on ground level below them.
Yeah.
And he's counting his primes again, has been for a while. He's up to the 400s.
Mm-hmm.
He is there in order to pull out D&G's memory disk in order to understand his own plan.
Yeah.
He knows that the bone clearly did some shit. It did something. It created something. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know there's a plant baby out there.
Yeah.
And needs D&G's memory disk in order to learn that.
Yeah. But he goes on his bad guy monologue of how he's been waiting for 22 years for this, and the moment he's been waiting for is almost upon him. And then he looks behind him where he's got the absolutely mangled corpse of Guccio.
Yes.
And he's like, okay, I don't think you saw the exact thing I needed to see, but I need to celebrate. And so he pulls out a CD that he throws into Guccio's head. And it's not a memory disc.
This is my favorite thing that it turns out Whitesnake can do, because this is an actual music CD. This is not a magic CD. Yep. He bought this at Sam Goddamn Goody.
And it's Handel's Messiah, Hallelujah. And because he has jammed it into Guccio's brain, he becomes a stereo, and
yes.
his head lifts up. He starts singing the music.
Yeah, he becomes a hi-fi system, just blasting the Hallelujah chorus. Skip straight to the 44th movement of Handel's Messiah, I guess. And yeah, does this mean that Poochie never had to buy a PS2? He just put Crash Bandicoot in someone's brain.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. What happens? Whoa. Put Monster Rancher in someone's brain and then put another music CD in that person's brain and you get a new monster in Monster Rancher. It works. He would never buy a handheld either. He doesn't need any of that shit.
No.
Frogs are brains, people are video games.
The PS9 nanite commercial is real.
Yeah.
And it's Whitesnake.
Yeah. Hell yes.
He snorts Spyro.
Oh man, I can't wait for those nanites. So yes, Father Poochie celebrates. He fucking loves he loves Messiah. He's he's conducting the air along with the song.
Once again, he talks about the nature of true happiness, which is holding heaven in your hands.
Mm-hmm. Turns out, green babies.
But, he has a celebration. He once again affirms his plan to grab the memories before D&G can be officially questioned.
Yeah.
as D&G is getting wheeled away by paramedics into an ambulance that has arrived. But wait, that paramedic has an interesting haircut. That's my plankton pal.
Hey!
Hey, fancy seeing you here. And so Poochie, from his vantage point, sees one of these paramedics form a gun from their hand, take off their hat, revealing themselves, and reciting a paragraph, which is all the time Poochie needs to recognize them.
Mm-hmm. She is about to shoot D&G in the head. She fires off multiple rounds. All of them just barely miss D&G because
their arm has been grabbed, seized by the other paramedic who has had a disc thrown into them long distance. Poochie is also like the Ricky Jay of throwing CDs rather than cards.
Yeah.
He's an ace at that shit. So Poochie steps forward, revealing himself, finishing off the primes of the 400s. He did not forget his place. And sort of taunts Foo Fighters by asking them, all right, what's the plan? Are you going to attack me here and now? Or are you going to finish off my minion here in order to save your friends? And that's it. That's the end of the episode.
You know what would be really cool? If FF, because she can make that finger gun in one hand, she should do a finger gun in the other hand and dual wield. Shoot two different directions. Shoot both these guys in the face at the same time.
Hands akimbo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hands akimbo.
Yes. Hands Akimbo is the name of my new series coming to Shonen Jump Weekly.
That leads us into episode 21, Awaken.
Awaken! So yeah, we recap the final moments there of Poochie revealing himself and Foo Fighters recognizing him and recognizing that this means he is Whitesnake's user.
Yep.
Right into the OP. And so the narrator describes Foo Fighters' psychology over clips of their debut fight. And that their greatest fear is not losing their life, but losing their intelligence, being reduced to a thoughtless thing, either in actuality or even in people's perception. Truly a fate worse than death. And so now Foo Fighters is narrating the episode and reminiscing over all the good times, including times we never saw before, like the whole gang laughing at their toes. Apparently their toes are hilarious for some reason.
Yeah. I wish this scene was animated. I want to know what that was about.
This toe scene, as presented, seems impossible.
Yeah.
Because Anasui is here in this flashback. And they were not formally introduced until earlier today.
Yes.
Roughly 11 minutes ago.
Foo Fighters' memory isn't the best. Anasui and Weather Report are the two characters here who are there, but they're the furthest in the background, and their heads are cut off by the frame, which just makes me think they weren't there. It was just Hermes, Emporio, and Jolene laughing at her feet.
You got weird toes, lady. So then we learn, or we are told that living is making memories. That is what makes, that's what makes you a real boy. Like, I want to kind of think about this in parallel with Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, yeah,
whereas being a real boy means being treated as one and making mistakes and learning from them like a real boy.
Yeah.
And how important it is to that vision that there is no big a transformation wherein Pinocchio becomes flesh. I feel like Foo Fighters' story is very much in that. They are a real person, even if they are bug. Yeah.
She goes on to talk about how, whenever she doesn't know what to do or she doesn't know how to go forward, she always thinks of Jolene for motivation because of how fucking insane she is.
Yes.
And she believes the reason why Jolene has such a drive is also because of her memories, of her dad and of having, a normal life in the past and having happy memories. And that's what keeps her going forward. Just Foo Fighters deciding, this is what I have to do. This is my life. These memories and everything is driving me towards what I believe is the correct action to do.
Two things here. One, when they mention Jolene, the image they have of Jolene is sick as shit.
Oh, hell yeah. It's awesome.
It's the shot of that I don't think has been. I would remember this, right?
Yeah, I think this is just new.
This is original to this memory.
Yeah.
Of Jolene just like leaping down, arms and back flexed, in profile. And of course, I don't even need to say it, blood squirting everywhere.
Yeah, just blood, just droplets of blood just thrown into the air, blood streaking down the side of her face.
And streaming through a background of golden light.
Yeah, it looks dope.
It whips ass. But also, Foo Fighters like sums up this whole thing again, thinking about their intellect. Quote, "The knowledge that I am FF, that is what intellect is.
Mm-hmm.
I think, therefore I sippy cup."
Man, do you think FF would go, like, if she saw, like, a crazy straw, like a silly straw, to drink the water through?
That's why it's called a crazy straw.
Yeah, I bet she would like
it.
that.
It drives creatures mad.
And so, with that monologue, Poochie is asking, what are you going to do? Are you going to shoot me? Are you going to shoot D&G? You can only do one of them. And so, FF turns around and just starts firing point blank at D&G.
But there was a hesitation, which lets Whitesnake divert the shots around the ambulance interior and then karate chop into Foo Fighters' skull, pulling out a disc.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, they think, when I need to kick up my courage, I think about Jolene. Same. It's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But what does the courage of Jolene mean? It means putting a gun to your head and blowing your own brains out.
Yes.
But that's the trick. Foo Fighters doesn't use a brain. One could say Jolene might not either. But this is a plan to open out a sludge spout out of the skull, and pour themselves into D&G lying prone below.
Yes. All of the Foo Fighters sludge just like crawls up into D&G's mouth, which then causes his face and head to start like bubbling and wiggling. And then his jaw gets ripped off by the sludge, and then his whole head just twists and fucking launches off of his body.
Yep. Oh, it's pretty gross.
And then the FF sludge crawls up the wall, carrying its disc, its memory disc,
up into the little window into the cab of the ambulance.
Yeah. And Poochie just stands there like, what the fuck? Like he's genuinely shocked at what just happened. He doesn't know what to do. It's great.
So back on the fan boat with D&G dead, Yo-Yo Ma just dissolves into dust, revealing the baby pod from its gullet.
Yeah.
Except that the baby pod is open and empty, and there's little bits of husk. And some little green hands come out from one of the husks until the boat hits a bump and the whole thing falls down into the marsh waters.
Oops. Threw the baby out.
They threw the baby out into the marsh water. So back in the ambulance, Foo Fighters is in the cab forming a fourth body.
Yeah.
This is sort of a fusion of their original look, or I guess their second look, the one that fought Jolene in the garage, with the face of Atro.
Yep. It looks cool.
It looks pretty cool. This is the most cosplayable Foo Fighters. I guess second. Yeah. Second to like standard, just all Atro Foo Fighters.
Yeah. And so Foo Fighters goes to start up the ambulance so that they can just get the fuck away and also deliver the info of Father Poochie being Whitesnake's user to everyone else. As she is... I mean,
it's a big, like, midway Diamond is Unbreakable Koichi moment.
Oh, yeah.
Become a new person, deliver the most valuable information to the hero. Like, there you go.
And she's turning the key through the little gaps between like the different paneling of the dashboard. Whitesnake's hand just appears, and then the whole front of the ambulance just gets torn apart by Whitesnake.
Yes.
And then again, he just plunges his hand into Foo Fighters' brain to try and pull her discs out.
And then it like tears their limbs off, like their arm and their legs get thrown away.
Yeah.
But the arm sailing through the air still has a finger gun that still fires into it anyway.
Yes.
So Poochie's got some questions.
Yeah.
While the one-armed torso of Foo Fighters just sits in the middle of the floor here next to a wrecked ambulance. Mm-hmm. Questions like, what did that bone turn into, really? Did you get a good look at it? Was it beautiful? Did it have the sort of sensuality you wouldn't expect from a man?
I hope it just doesn't look like Shrek. I don't want a little green goblin baby. That would be bad. Not what I would expect to come from a butt bone of Dio.
And
don't know it's the butt.
I've decided it's the butt.
But Foo Fighters knows that they're in good hands. This dude is never going to get this baby. You know why? Because it's with Anasui, who is a bad enough dude to just kill a baby. Mm-hmm. We finally got one. We finally found the guy.
Yep. And also, like, when these questions are being asked, it's not just coming from Poochie. It's Poochie and Whitesnake, like, on opposite ends, like, playing, like, going back and forth, asking questions. Like, did it develop quickly? Does it respond to stimuli? Does it seem like a smart little boy? Foo Fighters is just kind of playing dumb and just saying, I don't know, they probably drowned it or something. Fucking, oh.
And Poochie's like, no, they didn't. I don't know what kind of baby it is, but I do know it's unkillable.
Yep. A destructible baby.
And that only Jotaro's memories can control what was just born.
Yeah.
Because, he's such a good dad.
Absolutely. And this is when Poochie notices something behind Whitesnake and then yells at his stand, like, fucking look behind you! Because it turns out,
Because this is the best. Because Foo Fighters has been stalling.
Yeah.
And giving, like, wishy-washy answers and, like, well, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they're the stand that holds the ability to have their body together is not in the parts of the body that are talking right now. It's in the legs that have been ignored and are now running for the exit.
Yes.
Just legs.
Just legs. And the legs are skinny enough that they can run in between the bars and, like, get to the outside. And there's, like, a big water faucet out there. And so sludge shoots out of the legs, twists the faucet.
In order to get all the water needed to grow a full Foo Fighters fusion form.
Yep.
I call it the 4F.
And so, yeah, she just, like, rapidly regenerates into a full body. Hell yeah, it's really cool. But Father Poochie's got to ruin it. He's going to ruin this really cool moment.
And he's, like, really invested in ruining it because Foo Fighters is, like, describing their victory.
Yeah.
And Poochie will not accept being talked down to by his subhuman creation. He does not recognize the humanity or personhood of Foo Fighters. They are a sludge beast of his own making. They do not have the right to talk to him like this.
Yep.
And that's why he's evil. Fuck you. That's a person. That's my favorite person.
Yeah, that person's great.
And so suddenly, there's this brand new torso, fully assembled Foo Fighters outside, starts swelling and bubbling into boils and steaming because for some reason, this drinking fountain has boiling water in it. Seems like a safety issue. Maybe a waste of energy. And it is cooking their constituent little guys.
Yeah. So what is happening here is Whitesnake, Poochie's got so many different stand discs on him. And he happens to have a disc on him that has a stand power that can make water, like, boil.
Yes.
And so with the leftover bits of Foo Fighters that are near him, Whitesnake is just inserting this new stand power into Foo Fighters, which is then causing all water she comes into contact with to become boiling.
They are incapable of not having water they touch be boiling, thus killing them.
Yep.
They either die quickly or slowly. Your choice.
Yeah. And so Foo Fighters explodes,
Yeah.
shouting Jolene's name before exploding, and her disc just like lands on the ground.
I want to rewind a little bit to Poochie explaining this when he says, quote, "The highest temperature all aquatic life on Earth can withstand is 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit." Now, I saw this number and I wrote it down and I thought, I'm going to fact check this. What about like black smokers? That like ecology. What about extremophiles? And then I realized, wait a minute, 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit? I'm warmer than that. I don't got to look up shit.
Yeah.
You're just wrong. You're stupid and wrong.
Was that meant to be Celsius and not
Maybe.
Fahrenheit? He just wanted to sound smart.
I guess he's probably just glad he finally found a use for the boiling stand.
Yeah.
But then again, as soon as he made a plankton guard dog, he probably is like, that's my use for the boiling stand, because he's a fucking creepo sadist. So yeah, not only does Foo Fighters explode, we get an extreme microscopic close-up of every last plankton buddy that constitutes Foo Fighters dissolving and screaming.
God damn it. Fuck this.
I hate this. I'm done.
Fuck this.
I'm out. You lost me.
Oh.
I don't want this.
Oh. So, with that, we hit the mid-episode title card with, again, a new stand that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, a stand that will never be named. Mm-hmm. It's one that we haven't seen this in a long time. It wasn't named until later publication of an art book.
Yeah. Is Green Green Grass of Home.
Yes, an old country music standard that's been recorded by basically everybody.
Yeah.
I do think the ones that aren't named until years after publication are the ones most likely to be like, wait, what? That doesn't fit Araki's taste as I imagine them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is certainly one of those. And after that, we rejoin Jolene and Anasui as they chase the goblin baby butt.
Yep.
This little Jerry Mentalman ass baby.
Yep. We see a quick shot of Jolene fixing up the holes in her tongue with thread.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking a little better. Her face isn't melted, but her right eye is just, it's messed up. It's done. She doesn't have a right eye anymore, basically. This green baby is slowly crawling through all these weeds and plants and stuff. As Jolene is chasing towards it, Anasui, again, is just like, fucking stop moving. Just stop.
Mm-hmm.
You're little. Again, you've gotten little.
Yeah. I mean, she's used to being little. She got little the first day on the inside. It's fine.
Yep.
But she stops, and then Anasui is really tiny, and Jolene is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And they figure out that tininess increases with proximity to the baby.
Yeah.
And Anasui draws a little diagram about how when you get half the distance to the baby, you're half your size.
Yeah.
And if you get all the way to the baby, you're none of your size.
Yeah.
This is the Zeno's paradox stand.
Yeah.
And so they have to solve one of the oldest logical paradoxes about size and distance and motion, and how we conceive of them. Can you get to it ever? And there are many solutions to these paradoxes, depending on your framework. Mm-hmm. One I favor is just the fact that we live in a quantized universe where there is such a thing as a smallest distance that cannot be halved. And so, yeah, you will get there. Anasui disagrees and says, no, this is impossible. This is an impossible stand.
Yep, it's just, you will become infinitely tiny and you will never reach the baby butt.
I mean, I guess somebody doesn't know about Archimedes demonstrating that this is solvable using geometry in the area of a square, but fine,
that's
whatever.
That's one wiki hole he didn't go down yet.
Yeah.
Give him a few months, he'll get there.
But we gotta stop this baby so the baby doesn't get to Poochie, so Poochie can't do whatever he wants to do with this baby.
Yeah.
Jolene says as much, quote, "We have to keep the baby the hell away from that asshole," which is generally good advice for all babies and all assholes. Mm-hmm. Which is what gives Anasui a moment to have an inner monologue about how he's so attracted to single-minded focus.
Yes, that's why he thinks Jolene is super hot. She's just very single-minded. He actually phrases it as concentration, I believe. But yeah.
Perhaps determinazione.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, if he met Bruno.
If anyone met Bruno. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't? So he throws a bottle at this baby.
Yeah.
And the baby's like, huh, all right, I'm going to bat at that for a bit and then turn her away and keep crawling away from you.
Yep. The bottle, like, nothing bad happens to the bottle. By the way, the face of the baby, now that we're seeing the front of the baby.
Yes, this baby is a little green baby.
Little green baby with elf ears. His eyes are just red orbs. And he's got these big, flowery eyelashes, kind of. And he's got a weed leaf on his forehead. Well, it's not a weed
And he has
leaf.
more leaves coming out the side of his face.
Yep.
Eyes sort of, I don't know what you call them. Like, you know how plants have veins?
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
plant veins are called, those are running over his skull and his arms. But he's mostly a very human-looking baby, aside from the exceptions we're noting here.
Yeah.
But this is the Green Man, right? But a baby version.
Oh, yeah.
The classic, like, pagan green man made of leaves. There's also the bloodsucker head subtype of the Green Man.
Ooh.
The foliate head Green Man is the most common, but the bloodsucker head Green Man is defined by sprouting vegetation from all facial orifices, e.g. tear ducts, nostrils, mouth, and ears.
Oh, shit.
You know, like 2 episodes ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't realize.
Also, metal-ass name. Like, where is the band name Bloodsucker Head?
Yeah, that's cool. And then we could have a stand called Bloodsucker Head. Come on.
Yes.
Come on. Its ability is implied in its name.
So Jolene is trying to get close to this baby, getting shrunker all the time, and has an idea. If I can't approach this baby, perhaps I can throw something at this baby, like, say, a glass bottle. You know, that worked. But in my case, string. I will try to string the baby. But even the string cannot cross infinity and falls short.
Yeah.
So then she has another idea. To leap up to a plant, because she's so tiny that to climb on like a fern would be a great leap, and then jump down at the baby, because the ground is a concrete endpoint.
Yeah.
There is your solution to this paradoxical baby power.
Yeah. And so she leaps off. She's still launching her string towards the baby while falling down straight on top of him. But her string gets tugged to the side harshly. And there's a weird new stand.
Yes.
Who, I like the design of this guy.
This is our first look in action of that stand from the mid-card, the green grass of home, the stand of the green baby. Let us describe this. This is a My Hero Academia is what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, he look. Yeah. Okay, so this is just kind of a muscular humanoid stand in kind of just like a full blue bodysuit with like orange crisscross stitching across its arms.
Do you like the orange piping on the thighs that run up the chest, abs, and shoulders too?
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
I like this guy's colors.
Yep. And it's got white gloves on. And the big interesting design point of this is its head and hair.
Yeah.
Its head looks like it could be one of the angels from Evangelion.
Yes.
Like if you ignore the jet engines on the side of his head.
It does look somewhere between the face of like that first angel.
Yes.
Is it called the third angel? Shut up. And an airplane.
Yeah. It's got like 4 traffic light eyeballs. They're 2 on each side of its face, stacked vertically, that are yellow. Its face is just white. Looks like it's made out of some type of like plastic hard material. And yeah, it's got jet engines sticking out of the sides of its head. And it's got really long, straight, spiky orange hairs sticking out from the top of its head.
And also that mask face opens up into a beak-like mouth.
Yeah.
Which is important, because the first time we see it, it has pulled Jolene off of her jump trajectory by biting and chewing on her stone free string.
And he goes, num, 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 num. Like a baby. green grass home. By the way, even though it's never said in the thing, the wiki says for the Netflix version, they localized it to green home.
You can say you called it anything. No one says it out loud. Like, the only thing that needed to be translated, I guess, is the subtitle for the title card.
Yeah. Green home chomps down on the string, snapping it, which, makes Jolene start spurting blood. And they're still both falling towards the baby.
And because they're falling towards the baby, she keeps shrinking. So this thing is massive. This is gigantic.
Yeah.
Compared to her.
Yeah, she tries to fire off, this net to catch him, but he's just too big for the net. Net keeps getting smaller. Greenhome grabs her leg, and it just kind of goes limp and starts dangling after you hear a loud crunching noise.
And her shoe comes off.
Her shoe comes off. And before they can hit the ground or anything, Diver Down punches through Greenhome and uses that to, get a footing on the stand, grab Jolene, and then kick off the stand so they can launch themselves to a safe distance away.
Increasing in size as they go. Why not just put a frog in there? Every fight from now on, why isn't Anasui just putting a frog in there?
Yeah, Anasui should, while they're in the marshlands, grab a bunch of live frogs and just tie them to different points of his little fishnet suit, like he's got the soles of the shoes on there.
Yeah, replace your shoes with frogs. Become the frog man.
Have an ammo belt made of live wiggling frogs.
Or bugs or worms or anything else you can put in there. I don't know.
Technically, you could use any object and replace a person's brain with it, and you win. If you ever get within Father Pucci's range, just swap his brain with the Hallelujah CD or something. I don't know. So
as they recover on the ground, Anasui says, "Alas, it seems this baby has an invincible stand." Don't you hate it when that happens, fellas?
I hate it.
So this stand tosses a pebble again, but tosses it far enough away that it grows to the size of an Indiana Jones boulder that then falls down, nearly crushing Jolene and Anasui.
And so after they get knocked down to the ground from that boulder nearly missing them, they just start running for it, chased by the stand, who is fucking huge compared to them now.
But this reveals Anasui's trick. Because he noticed that things the baby touches are immune to this power. They retain their natural size at all times. Like the glass bottle he tossed that he led the merry chase within. Oh. And because the stand is trapped in an actual bottle, the baby is trapped mime style in an invisible bottle.
Yes. So Jolene goes, "Great. How the fuck do we get out of the bottle?"
But there's an answer for that, because guess who else is in the bottle? And by in, I mean inside the walls and structure of the bottle. It's Diver Down, who is altering the bottle in order to bring the neck to them, that they fall out like a playground slide.
Yeah.
And then just sort of pinch it closed to trap the green grass of home within.
That's pretty cool.
Because
I like that.
Once they are out of its range, it is a stand that is naturally about the size of a frog. Maybe that's why you can't put a frog in its brain.
And they're like, "Oh, phew, we're out of the bottle. Hell yeah, we solved this puzzle." And then the baby kicks the bottle.
Yes. And the stand starts rolling the bottle around like a hamster ball and is trying to squish them, and it nearly crushes Anasui's go-go booted legs.
No.
So Jolene starts smashing the bottle to pieces against his wishes. Like, no, you got to keep the stand trapped. We got to get that baby. And she's like, "I want you to have legs, though." So she smashes that bottle to pieces. And then the baby reaches out and touches her, because the baby's like, "Cool, I like playing with dolls. I'm a baby." If the baby can touch her, why isn't she microscopic? Like, whatever. And so this, of course, returns her to her standard size. And after the blink of an eye, Anasui as well. And so she's holding this baby. She's holding this baby the way you do. up on her shoulder, and it reaches around her shoulder and starts pawing at the back of her shoulder like, hey, a star. I got one of those too. How does this baby know? Babies can't see their own shoulder. I don't know, but he thinks it's really interesting, and everything's fine. Everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
Except Anasui doesn't think everything's good. I think Anasui's really jealous of the baby.
Yeah.
Like bringing a baby into the home with a spoiled dog or a toddler. Like, got some issues to work out here.
Yeah, and Jolene says, hey, I think this little goblin baby, like she literally calls it a goblin. Like, I think this goblin likes me. What do I do about this? And Anasui thinks to himself, the baby's bonding. This isn't good. Jolene may not know it now, but eventually that baby will be her enemy.
Quote, all I feel from this baby's power is menace and infinite darkness. I think that just means it needs a nap. I don't know.
Yeah. And to be continued.
To be continued. That's the end of the episode and the end of everything we're talking about this week. So what'd you think? What'd you think about these episodes that you were waiting to talk about while you smelled your Christmas dinner turning to dust?
Locked away in an oven that would not give it up. What a shame. I think that this stretch it's mainly the Yo-Yo Ma part that is just like, what the fuck is happening? What is this? Green baby is less weird, but I'm still just amused by the phrase green baby. I just wanted to get to that part so we could go, hey, Dio's bone turns into a green baby? I mean, technically, that's a Jonathan Joestar bone.
It could be a jaw shard.
It could be from Dio's head, yeah. But yeah, it's the Yo-Yo Ma stuff. It's one of those things where it feels like if you just made a couple of tweaks, it would not have been so, like, what the fuck is happening at all times. They almost have a good excuse of, hey, this stand ate a thing that we really need, and it's also unkillable and we can't get it out, so what the fuck do we do with it? But there's just that long portion of just like, why are they not suspicious enough of the stand? He's bad. He ate the thing you need. He ate the baby.
Yo-Yo Ma, the whole thing feels like one of those times where JoJo's Bizarre Adventure absorbs what would have been parody to become the real thing. And I think it's one of the least successful ones of that.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, like, okay, I get the idea, like, of the character is the sort of creepiness that you can't look away from, and it's unnerving and it's horrifying, but you just gotta know, and you have to not look away from it, because if you do, that's when he gets you on a like plot level. But I don't like him. And what I really don't like is I put a frog in its brain. You know how stands have brains? I didn't like when they had lungs. Now they have brains?
Yeah. I am fine with the idea of specific stands having brains if it's a part of their design or the way they work or something. Or it's like, what if a stand was just a weird, creepy floating brain? I don't know. But just the idea that all stands have brains, don't like that. If D&G were nearby and you replaced his brain with a frog, cool.
Yeah, yes, actually, yes. I don't know. I mean, really, what I am is I'm grieving, is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because what a way to go out. Comparing it to Koichi and Sheer Heart Attack, like I did earlier, Koichi got the information out. You know?
Yeah.
Like, as I recall, I'm glad he survived, but I would have been fine with him dying in that moment because he got the information out.
Yep.
This sucks. This is Foo Fighters finally, like, getting a chance to just, like, grab the mic and say, here's what I'm about. Here's what's important to me. And I'm going to face down and do the raddest ass shit against a guy who does not believe this about me. So it's going to feel good to take him apart. Oh, wait, I died. And it was all to no, like, practical use.
Right.
That feels bad.
Let me think here. Yeah, it feels bad. There were multiple instances in these 3 episodes of like somebody doing the extremely, like, just the coolest shit and then immediately getting owned after they do the cool shit. I think it works for Joe when it happens to Jolene, at least,
like
when she does the net. But yeah, with Foo Fighters,
there's so much interesting in that fight about Foo Fighters deciding, because we know when Foo Fighters forms themselves, they can look how they want. So deciding to look like this fusion of what they were and what they are, it's like being a person is who I am inside, not the skin of this fucked up kidnap woman. That's not what makes me a person. I like the face, I'll keep that, but I can have victories for myself and my purposes by being a weird sludge puddle. That doesn't make me less of a person. That doesn't erase my intellect. I can go into a dude and tear his head off because it's fucking cool and still be Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
And then we don't get to do anything with that because they're dead. Now they're dead.
Yeah. All that stuff with the Foo Fighters also just immediately feels like, oh shit, they just learned a new way they can use their powers too. I wanted to see Foo Fighters just start body jumping.
Yes.
Like imagine Foo Fighters being able to escape because they kept jumping from body to body, so you don't know who she is in currently or something.
Yes. Foo Fighters becomes the Thing, but nice.
Yes.
What if the Thing was nice?
Like even if it's, she only needs a single plankton left to technically still be alive and be able to regenerate. So even if it was just a single one, like moving from droplet to droplet or something, just falling into like a drinking fountain and waiting for somebody to take a sip so she can hitch a ride or something. Like, yeah,
not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Irma's better get out of the hospital wing soon because we need help.
Yeah. Same with Weather Report.
Weather Report, wake up.
Please. Weather Report, can you make it rain? We need water really bad.
Really bad.
Somebody just...
They'd be an unstoppable pair. Oh my God.
Oh, dude. Yeah, man. He could just make it rain. He could just put like a cloud suit around FF full of moisture or something, and she'd be like invincible. She'd just immediately regenerate every time he karate chopped her head off. I wonder how many Foo Fighters like bodies she could have running around at once. Especially if she had, because like when she was in that initial fight with her, she just had the two because she was just submerged in water the whole time. But she could totally have more, right? And they all got the dual finger guns. They're all shooting. And then what
if Foo Fighters was just a Grey Goo scenario?
Exactly. Now I'm just getting into fan fiction territory here because I'm like, what if Sex Pistols got to work with Foo Fighters and they were kicking her bullets around?
Oh my goodness.
Right? And Weather Report's there. Unbeatable. And Foo Fighters is even better than Mista because she can do the whole I'm shooting myself to win thing and she won't actually die from the bullets like Mista will.
It is fun that once there's stands, sometimes the stands is a gun. It keeps happening in different ways. Sometimes stand is a gun. Sometimes stand is little bullets that live in your gun. Sometimes stand decides what I'm going to do is become gun.
Yeah.
I could become anything. I will become a gun.
I could be a gun.
Welcome to America. I will become gun.
Yep.
I mean, hey, there's precedent for a weird alien thing misidentifying the dominant species on Earth. That's where we got Ford Prefect. So next week, we will return with the final chunk of the second drop, the September 2022 drop, episodes 22 through 24. Time for Heaven, New Moon, New Priest. That's just one title. Jailhouse Lock and Jailbreak.
Ooh. I'm very excited for the rest of this, honestly. There isn't a single bit where I'm like, Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to these next three.
I think this is, speaking of our recording gap, I think this is the first time we're recording one of these since all of the 6 Feet Under Mouse Guard episodes, including the 2-part epilogue, have gone live. So once again, I'm going to point people at that. Go to 6feetsunder.com. That's SIXFEATSUNDER.com. And you're going to find a page for every season, all 8 seasons, as in, spring, summer, fall, because that's just the way that game rolls. of the Mouse Guard campaign. Feel free to start from the first year. Feel free to start from the second year, because that's also a good jumping on point because of some changes in the lineup, let's say. You can start from the end. It's fine. I won't mind. You might want to, I don't know, pop in and ask who's so-and-so, but you'll get it all the same. It's fine. You can even start from the epilogue, because that really is more like a one-shot bonus game. The way it's framed, like if you don't want this sometimes heavy game, that's the big goofy finale. That's the farewell to the goofy side of the campaign, because it's time for one of our mice to have their wedding, and it's the mouse least capable of planning a wedding, wouldn't you know? That was a good time. That was fun. So once again, come on back for our next episode, talking about episodes 22 through 24 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean.
See you later.
To be continued.